You can see a direct correlation between the Kardashians and the family in the movie Get Out. And what we have to understand is what a lot of people don't really tend to recognize is that the main point of this movie is about mind control. Yes, it's about racism and all that other shit, but what is the villain in this movie doing? The villain being the family, being the mom also, who is the one who is hypnotizing all these black people before they go into surgery. Spoiler alert.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor. Strength and honor. At my signal, unleash hell.
The movie Get Out is a movie of many mysteries and hidden symbolism. The movie is so fascinating that many people of different nationalities, belief systems, and backgrounds can't stop talking about it. In this video, Up TV will be going beyond the conversation and show you proof that this movie is more real than you know. There will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen this movie yet, pause the video and go see it. You can also now pre-order it on Blu-ray and DVD now. Link is in the description. My name is Devin Worlds, and today on Mysteries of the Universe, we will be discussing Get Out, the new and fascinating horror movie by Jordan Peele. We will also be discussing mind control and the sunken place. Now sink. What up, y'all? It's Devin with Up TV, and today I gotta talk about this skit that Drake did about Steph Curry in the movie Get Out during the NBA awards show, because it seems the Get Out hype train isn't slowing down anytime soon. It's no secret that Drake is a huge fan of the movie Get Out. Around the time when the movie came out, Drake dropped an image of Chris wearing an OVO hat while being put under mind control. Many celebrities started the Get Out challenge, where they would run towards the camera really fast, just like in the movie Get Out. And although it seems like it's just all fun and games and comedy, trust me when I say there's a deeper meaning behind all this shit. But I just gotta break down a few things real quick, because y'all need to realize there is a purpose for this Get Out skit that Drake did. Now look, Roseanne said MK Ultra rules in Hollywood. In the short version, MK Ultra is a form of mind control created by the CIA. Whether willingly or unwillingly, almost every major celebrity has been put under mind control, and Drake is no exception. Okay, the difference between Drake and a Kanye is that Drake is a willing participant, just like Jay-Z and just like Obama.
A divorce lawyer is meeting with a female client, but you've never seen an attorney behave like this guy.
1, 2, 3, sleep.
He's using hypnosis to prey on women who are in a vulnerable time in their lives.
As I rock you gently, the deepness of that sleep gets even better, more relaxed. Every part of you goes limp. 1, 2, 3, limp.
Listen how lurid he gets.
When you look into my eyes, you're going to feel such attraction and arousal.
And how's this for creepy?
And have you missed me?
Attorney Michael Fine told clients he was using hypnosis as a relaxation technique as they discussed their divorce. A session would start like this.
Let's take a deep breath. One more time. Okay, I gotta calm down. Let's do this together. You're gonna feel a wave of relaxation.
But as this secretly recorded video shows, once this unsuspecting woman came under his spell, he implanted lewd suggestions.
Every time I touch you, it's going to be an incredible sensation of incredible arousal and excitement and intense pleasure.
Some of the conversation is too raunchy to air.
It just makes me sick knowing that that's the kind of stuff that went on.
Melissa, who asked us not to use her last name, says she was also taken advantage of by Fine. When you'd come out of these meetings, were you aware of being quote-unquote unconscious or quote-unquote in that state?
Imagine sitting down and watching TV, and then you stand up, and why are your pants unzipped? why is your shirt tucked out of your pants?
Fine's creepy deeds were exposed when a client wondered why her clothing was disheveled after a visit to his office outside Cleveland. She went to cops and agreed to take a hidden camera the next time she consulted him. Fine puts her under and the inappropriate behavior begins.
Your entire body is a vessel of pleasure.
But cops are listening in, and Fine's Svengali routine is about to come to a sudden end.
Police officers, step over here.
Yes, sir.
Don't touch anything. Don't, just sit down.
Fine pleaded guilty to charges of kidnapping and attempted kidnapping involving 6 women. Laura Mills is Melissa's attorney.
He took these women at their most vulnerable point in their lives, and he abused their trust. He's a predator.
1, 2, 3, sleep.
Mind control, also known as brainwashing, is a theory that human subjects can be indoctrinated in a way that causes an impairment of autonomy, an inability to think independently, and a disruption of beliefs and affiliations. The Oxford English Dictionary records the earliest known English language usage of brainwashing in an article by newspaperman Edward Hunter. In Miami News, published on September 24th of 1950, Hunter, an outspoken anti-communist and said to be a CIA agent working undercover as a journalist, wrote a series of books and articles on the theme of Chinese brainwashing, and the word brainwashing quickly became a stock phrase in Cold War headlines. But is mind control real? Many people believe so, including Howie Mandel, who was hypnotized on his show America's Got Talent by hypnotist Chris Jones.
We're back at 8:46. NBC's summer hit America's Got Talent kicked off its 10th season last night. And something happened between Judge Howie Mandel, to my left here,
and just call me Howie.
Howie, and a hypnotist. Take a look.
In a moment, everyone has on the smallest, thinnest latex gloves. You won't notice it, but everyone is wearing gloves. Wide awake, my friend.
Hi, nice to see you today.
Crazy.
Okay, this was not a setup.
No.
Are you still upset about it?
I was upset about it, and it's hard for me to watch. And, you know, I didn't know. I was not prepared for that to happen. I was prepared, you know, as somebody on a show that is a competition, I wanted to be fair, so I was open. I wasn't going to block. I was open to be hypnotized. I didn't know what he was going to ask me to do, and I felt very kind of somewhat betrayed when it happened. But you know, I've been to therapy since, and I'm
literally you've been to therapy.
I did. You know, and my therapist explained to me that this was a good thing. You know, I do behavioral therapy. I have
because
OCD.
for people who don't know, you have OCD. This is a real thing. This
it is
isn't
a real
joke.
thing, but that was a real thing. And you know, for those that I've been reading online, social media, you know, there are people who don't believe it. You know what you're doing, but it's kind of like you were at a party and you had drinks or Xanax and you don't care.
Like your guard
in the
is
moment.
down.
Yeah, but now as soon as he snapped me out of it, my guard is back up, and he didn't cure me.
Okay, that was my next question.
Peace, family, and welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Productions. This is your host, Brother Rich, and I'm back with the living legend, Professor Griff. Welcome back to the show, brother. And it's a pleasure to be back, Brother Rich. Pleasure to be back, as always, every Wednesday night. Pleasure to be back, man. Everything good with you? Yeah, everything good, man. Looking forward to talking about this movie. I just seen it last night, the movie Get Out, and I would tell you, Griff. At first, when I seen the commercial for it, I said, you know, it looks interesting. I wasn't going to go see it. And I heard so many people talking about it, and just saying how deep it was, and you know, they started talking about you know, organs and selling organs and melanin and this and that, and I was like, yo, okay, let me check this out. So I finally went to see it last night, and I got to have a conversation with you today about it, my brother. You know, for those who may not be too aware of Get Out, I mean, everybody's talking about it. I think it's the #1 movie in America. It's co-produced by I believe his name is Key Peele or Jordan Peele. Is that his name?
Jordan Peele from Key and Peele.
Yeah, Jordan Peele. Yeah, and they're calling it a horror movie, and it gives you an inside look at how an interracial relationship could go could go sour, could go drastically wrong. And they went on a family getaway and he went to meet his girlfriend's white parents, and he found out some disturbing things that was going on in that town. Things they were doing, they were abducting black people, cutting out their brains, and all types of shit, man. Have silent auctions for black. I mean, it was crazy, man. So I'm gonna tell you, when I seen it, man, the first thing I thought about when I seen the movie, I thought about the Kardashians and Kanye West.
Oh wow!
And I thought of and I thought about how Kanye's running around like a zombie right now. They're saying he's trying to regain his memory, and he looks disheveled. And if you ask him about him, he just compliments the family and the wife, and it just reminded me of that. And even with Lamar Odom, what happened to him? And it's like these brothers, they're like losing their souls messing with some of these white women, man. And people like, man, what the hell is happening to all these brothers messing with the Kardashians? And it was like the same thing with that family. This white girl was scooping up these football players, these black dudes in the movie, and just turning them out to her family, and her family will do what they got to do with them. So it was like, it was real interesting. We gonna get deep into it.
In 1999, forensic psychologist Dick Anthony concluded that the CIA had invented the concept of brainwashing as a propaganda strategy to undercut communist claims that American pals in the Korean communist camps had voluntarily expressed sympathy for communism. He argued that the books of Edward Hunter, whom he identified as a secret CIA psychological warfare specialist passing as a journalist, pushed the CIA brainwashing theory onto the general public. Succumbing to their own propaganda, for 20 years starting in the early 1950s, the CIA and the Defense Department conducted secret research, notably including Project MK-Ultra, in an attempt to develop practical brainwashing techniques. The results are unknown. Well, unless you ask Roseanne, that is.
Is the media and entertainment responsible for perpetuating a rape culture?
Yeah, I think the media is responsible for perpetuating a rape culture. And, it's profitable for the people at the top who run the rape culture, who run it, and, they profit from it. And to say otherwise would be a big fat lie. But they don't want any kind of power shifted away from the way they have it set up. In a very hierarchical manner with, women's free labor at the bottom, largely slave labor, at the bottom of that big pyramid.
You've been a Hollywood insider for so long, yet you've been vocal for so long. I mean, how challenging is it to see your colleagues across Hollywood lacking for the Obama administration when they have so much power and influence that they could single-handedly shape the dialogue when so many people are watching them?
Well, I think that, this is a culture of fear, and nobody's more afraid than people in Hollywood. They're afraid that they'll drop out of the top, they're afraid that they'll drop from the bottom of the pyramid, maybe to the middle of the pyramid. But, they're the ones, Hollywood is the one that keeps all this power structure and all this culture of racism and sexism and classism and genderism and all of it in place. They continually feed it, and they make a lot of money doing it. And they do it at the behest of their masters who run everything. So, they're not going to get brave enough to do that. I mean, I think that there aren't many of us who are brave enough to do that. And I'm just, I'm lucky that I can do it, and I feel that I do it on behalf of many people in Hollywood, too. I go to Hollywood parties, or occasionally I go to Oscar parties and things like that. And people, big stars, people will grab me by the arm and take me aside and say, I just want to thank you for the things you say. And it blows my mind, but that's the culture. It's a culture of fear for sure. And it's a big culture of mind control too. MK-Ultra mind control rules in Hollywood. If you don't know, Google that and look into it.
Well, we've talked about Operation Mockingbird, MK-Ultra mind control stuff from, this goes back decades and decades. But Roseanne, do you know people have been blacklisted? Is it just kind of a self-censorship in Hollywood, or do people actually get edged out if they are too much against the grain?
Yeah, it's self-censorship after a while, but it's not just a crazy self-censorship. It's self-censorship because there's actually a danger that you will never work again. And people know it. Everybody has friends that it happened to, that maybe you said too much or maybe you were too vocal on unpopular issues. And it's funny because it doesn't matter if 2 years later, I find this a lot, that 2 years later, those unpopular issues become very mainstream. They still don't forgive the first person who does it. And that's kind of been my story there. When you're first, you're going to be vilified, despite the fact that 2 years later everybody's saying what you said. You're still going to be vilified because you dared. And like they say, the Chinese, the Chinese have a myth or a saying that says that the nail that stands up is hammered down, and that's how it is here and everywhere in the world. Right. You don't really want to put yourself at odds with people who decide your future and pay for your work, but sometimes you have to. And I was very lucky that I had a successful show that made me a lot of money, and so that I can do that. And I feel that I owe that to the people I came from, to say those things that maybe they can't say because they're afraid they'll be fired, or they're afraid even that they'll be put in jail or whatever. I'm going to do it because why not?
CIA experiments using various psychedelic drugs such as LSD and mescaline was drawn from Nazi scientists' research during World War II. Project MK-Ultra, sometimes referred to as the CIA's mind control program, is the code name given to a program of experiments on human subjects, at times illegal, designed and undertaken by the United States Central Intelligence Agency. Experiments on humans were intended to identify and develop drugs and procedures to be used in interrogations and torture, in order to weaken the individual to force confession through mind control. Organized through the Scientific Intelligence Division of the CIA, the project coordinated with the Special Operations Division of the U.S. Army's Chemical Corps. The operation began in the early 1950s, was officially sanctioned in 1953, was reduced in scope in 1964, and further curtailed in 1967, officially halted in 1973. The program engaged in many illegal activities, including the use of unwitting U.S. and Canadian citizens as its test subjects, which led to controversy regarding its legitimacy. MK-Ultra used numerous methodologies to manipulate people's mental states and alter brain functions, including the surreptitious administration of drugs, especially LSD and other chemicals, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, as well as other forms of psychological torture. The scope of Project MK-Ultra was broad, with research undertaken at 80 institutions, including 44 colleges and universities, as well as hospitals, prisons, pharmaceutical companies. The CIA operated through these institutions using front organizations, although sometimes top officials at these institutions were aware of the CIA's involvement. As the U.S. Supreme Court later noted, MK-Ultra was concerned with the research and development of chemical, biological, and radiological materials capable of employment in clandestine operations to control human behavior. The program consisted of some 149 subjects, which the agency contracted out to various universities, research foundations, and similar institutions. At least 80 institutions and 185 private researchers participated because the agency funded MK-Ultra indirectly. Many of the participating individuals were unaware that they were even dealing with the agency. Project MK-Ultra was first brought to the public's attention in 1970 by the Church Committee of the U.S. Congress and a Gerald Ford Commission to investigate CIA activities within the United States. Investigative efforts were hampered by the fact that the CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all MK-Ultra files destroyed in 1973. The Church Committee and Rockefeller Commission investigations relied on the sworn testimony of the direct participants and on the relatively small number of documents that survived Helms' destruction order. In 1977, a Freedom of Information Act request uncovered a cache of 20,000 documents relating to Project MKUltra, which led to Senate hearings later that same year. In July 2001, some surviving information regarding MKUltra was declassified. So what does the CIA MKUltra program have to do with the movie Get Out? Many argue that the movie was all about MKUltra, and the movie may have a more eerie and deeper meaning than we know. Get Out is a new horror film created by Jordan Peele, and everybody seems to love this movie. But why does this movie seem to fascinate so many people? Perhaps we were put under mind control watching it in the theater. Sounds crazy, I know, but did you know that the movie theaters used to use subliminal advertising as a form of mind control on audiences across the US? In 1957, a market researcher named James Vickery inserted the words "eat popcorn" and "drink Coca-Cola" into a movie. The words appeared for a single frame, allegedly long enough for the subconscious to pick up, but too short for the viewer to be aware of it. The subliminal ad supposedly created an 18.1% increase in Coke sales and a 57.8% increase in popcorn sales. Vickery results turned out to be a hoax, but more recent experiments have shown that subliminal messages actually can affect behavior in small ways. A Harvard study from 1999 employed a similar method to Vickery. Subjects played a computer game in which a series of words flashed before them for a few thousandths of a second. One set got positive words like wise, astute, and accomplished. The other set got words like senile, dependent, and disease. Despite the fact that these words flashed far too quickly to be consciously perceived, those who received positive words exited the room significantly faster than those who got negative words. However, William Peter Blatty, author of The Exorcist, prominently spoke out against subliminals when the movie adaptation of his book came under fire for including allegedly subliminal messaging. He said, "There are no subliminal images. If you can see it, it's not subliminal." So, do advertisers consciously choose to include subliminal messages in their ads? Can they harness subliminal power to associate their products with sex and power? If so, does it actually affect a consumer's buying decision? You be the judge. Check out these images of subliminal messages in favorite kids shows and movies and tell me if you think they have an effect or not. If subliminal messaging does work as a form of mind control, it is definitely not as effective as MKUltra. According to Roseanne, MKUltra rules in Hollywood, and through further investigation, I'm starting to believe her.
Clap that boy! Yeah, man, you crazy, boy. Crazy, man. Big body Dre. What's up, boy?
I'm at the championship party, okay, but it is lit AF. Everybody wants you in there. I need you in the building, brother. Please come celebrate.
Man, I mean, look, I would, man. I'm posted at the crib, though. I got the blazing hots going. I'm watching Belly, and it's my favorite part. Today, about to go to Africa, G.
Steph, get out of the house and get over here now.
You know what? You're right, bro. We just won a chip. It's my world now. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go buy me a Bugatti. I'm about to drive over there.
A Bugatti?
Draymond, I'm gonna call you right back, brother. All right? What are you even doing here?
Baby, who are you talking to?
Look at you, angelic in the morning. Aisha, mother of my children, the love of my life. How are you?
Who are you talking to? Was that Draymond? You know the rules. No phone calls after 10 a.m. unless it's
Goddard, Steve Harvey. Yeah, I know.
Well, let me guess, he wanted you to go to some party, or?
It's a shindig with coworkers at the work.
I feel like you need to be shindigging.
Clay's gonna be there. That's like having a chaperone.
I need my tea. Seth?
What's up, baby bro? Hello.
Hi, Seth. Relax, baby. What's with all this silly party talk?
It's not a party. I mean, it's like, baby, we just won a championship. Please.
We celebrated, remember? We bought those matching sweaters. Does somebody need to go to the Sunken place?
Oh, wait.
Sink into the floor.
What up, bro? Where are you at? This party is still. Oh, that's Aisha. Hey, Aisha. I knew that was you the whole time. Look, can I tell you something? I love your cooking show. And I've been reading my Bible a lot lately. And that's because of y'all. I'm trying to find me a boo just like how y'all got going on. Best couple of the year. Okay, bye.
I'm glad we stayed in tonight.
I'm giving spoilers. I'm just letting everybody know now. But the mom has been hypnotizing all these black people with the fucking teacup and a spoon. Now think about that. You know, in reality, we know people aren't being hypnotized in that manner. Maybe people are. You know, I'm not a hypnotist, but I can definitely say that I don't think that's a real effective means of hypnotism. When the CIA has invented a program called MK Ultra, which is being used on many different celebrities today, and have been for quite some time now. The thing is that MK Ultra is a mind control program that many celebrities undergo, and it's happening to not just black people, but many different people. And subtly, the movie Get Out lets you know that as well, because they let you know, because when I'm giving spoilers now, but towards the end of the movie, when he's starting to figure everything out, they got him in the chair, he's tied down, and he's watching the TV. He ends up speaking to the guy who bought him at the auction, which is a blind guy who wanted him for his eyes, because what they were doing was they were hypnotizing these people and then basically putting them in this place called the Sunken place through hypnotism. The Sunken place is like where they fall into this whole black area into their consciousness, and they can see that their life through like a screen, but they're stuck in this black consciousness that they can't just escape. So anyways, you know, the guy explains to him, he asked the guy, actually, he said, you know, why are you guys doing this to black people? And his response was, I can give a shit what color you are. So that lets you know right there that truthfully the movie wasn't even about it just being done to black people. And another subtle hint to that was that there was an Asian guy who came with the family who was also looking to buy the Chris, I believe his name was Chris. I can't remember the name of the guy in the movie, the main character. But basically, he was there to auction, to try to buy him at this auction as well. So they gave hints in the movie to let us know that it's not just about race. This thing isn't just about race, but it's happening to many people. And this is a MK Ultra program that is going on. And you look at Kanye West. and look what he's been through. Look. Kanye's trying to get out. Kanye wants to get out, but he can't get out because they keep putting him back under this mind control. You know, he's stuck into this reality. And I just gotta point out, there was a scene in the movie where Chris was taking a picture of one of the black guys there at the party because he just thought it was funny. He thought it was funny the way dude was dressing, the way he was talking. You know, he was acting weird and he was acting real white. And he did kind of recognize him from somewhere. So Chris went ahead and he snapped a picture of the guy at his camera. And this scene was also in the trailer, so this ain't even a major spoiler. But when he snapped the picture, you know, the dude ran up on him and he grabbed him and he said, "Get out, get out." You know, that was basically when he flashed that camera, it brought the consciousness of the person, Chris, or not Chris, but the guy, it brought his original consciousness back and pushed the consciousness down of the person who took over his body. And I'm gonna go ahead and play a clip from a guy by the name of the Vigilant Christian. Many of you probably have heard of him before, but he has a video where he's basically explaining how Kanye was when he got released from the hospital, right before he got released from the hospital. You know, they had him in a chair, just like in the movie Get Out. It's not the same type of chair, of course, but you know, it's all about ritual and how they put these people under mind control. So Kanye was fully under his mind control at this point. But I'm gonna let you guys watch this video so you get more information and more detail about what's going on. But understand that the Kardashians is just like the family in the movie Get Out. And they're taking all these black people. They ain't just taking Kanye West. You know, they got Tyga, you know, the rapper Tyga. If y'all don't know him, go look him up. But he's with one of the youngest Kardashians, was with her before he got taken by her before she was even 18 years old. You see what I'm saying? You see how they getting these guys? You know what I'm saying? You got Lamar Odom. And then I'm gonna go back and show you it's not just about race either. You know, look at what's his name? Caitlyn Jenner, the Caitlyn dude. They done turned his ass into a female. You see what I'm saying? No man in his right mind. That man wasn't gay. That man wasn't. He wasn't there on that level. They put him on that level. They put him under that mind control. They needed a use for his ass, for Bruce Jenner. They needed a use for him. They needed to make money off of him, and they needed to push an agenda off of him. Understand what these satanic witches are doing, okay? Now, you also look at Black China. You know, they're not just getting males, they're getting females as well. You see what I'm saying? Man and women of all races are not safe when we're talking about the Hollywood elite. Many people are under mind control, and even Roseanne says that herself. Understand, not everybody has to be convinced to sell out. Some people see it as the only way. In Obama's case, he's related to them. Go look it up. He's related to all the other presidents. Now look, Jay-Z admitted it when he did the song D Evils on his first album, Reasonable Doubt. Drake has a track record of promoting Illuminati symbols and conspiracies, from him doing the pyramid hand sign to the 666 hand sign over one eye. His OVO owl symbol is the Illuminati owl that is worshipped at the Bohemian Grove by the elite. And he even has done an album called September 24th, Nothing Will Be the Same, which, if y'all know anything about the September 23rd conspiracy, then you should know why on September 24th, nothing will be the same. Now, he's doing this Get Out skit, right? Why? Because not only is he reconfirming that this mind control shit is real, and even NBA players like Steph Curry and LeBron are under mind control, and check out the movie Get Out. What was the girl doing after she was done with Chris? She was looking up NBA players coincidentally. You know what I'm saying? But he's also letting us know that the NBA has us under mind control by making y'all believe that the NBA is real and not rigged. Ironically, a year ago it was Steph Curry's wife who was whining and complaining and came out and said out of her own damn mouth that the NBA was rigged.
Hey everyone, it's TVC Mario, and you're here for an end time report. In today's video, I wanted to go ahead and report on this. I'll leave it linked up in the description section. Stephen Curry's wife accuses NBA of being rigged for money or ratings after husband is ejected from Game 6. The reason that I wanted to talk about this is because I've been saying the very same thing, that major sport entertainment like the NBA, NFL, is rigged for money and ratings. It's pretty logical and reasonable to believe that it would be set up that way. I did a video a while back, several months, called "The NFL is Rigged, Proof," and I'll go ahead and leave this linked up in the description section below. But I'm glad someone is coming out and, speaking out against this. Obviously, she would know. He would be in a contract that would keep him under, legal threat and keep him silent. So it's pretty interesting that she's come out on her Twitter here and went ahead and said that.
And now, in this Get Out skit, she's the one doing the rigging or mind controlling. Because of copyright laws, we can't actually show you any of these music videos, but links will be in the description for you to fully observe for yourself. Check out these scenes from the B.O.B. and Nicki Minaj music video. You find B.O.B. and Nicki trapped in an insane asylum, and everything in this video is symbolic, and the music video is so similar to the movie Get Out that you can question if this is where Jordan Peele got his idea for Get Out. This video begins with B.O.B. locked away in a room in an asylum. We see 4 lights that turn on that form a square or cube. Because we are limited on time, we can't go into full detail of the cube symbolism, but no need to worry because we already done a video about it. Link is in the description, of course. You can clearly see that B.O.B. has been kidnapped and is stuck waiting for his MK Ultra programming. He doesn't want his mind messed with, but they take him forcefully, just as Chris, the main character in Get Out, was forcefully taken. In Get Out, Chris goes with his white girlfriend to meet her family. When they arrive, the viewer and the main character gets to see the family's home, which is a huge mansion sitting on a lot of land. To the viewer and to Chris, you are only thinking that the family is rich, but is there something deeper here? Does the family actually live in an insane asylum? When you think of an insane asylum, most people don't think of a beautiful mansion because Hollywood often shows insane asylums as creepy looking places, but in reality, many insane asylums are very beautiful and you wouldn't even suspect the horrific things that are taking place inside. As we take a deeper look, B.O.B. even says in the lyrics of the song, "This is not figurative, this is literally." Meaning that he is not just speaking in metaphors and rapping clever lines, but actually means what he is saying. What's even more crazy is just like they hit a deer in the movie Get Out, Bob makes a rap line about hitting a deer in this song. Shortly after you see the pretty white girl who seems to actually represent the woman who brought Bob to the asylum. They even make flirtatious gestures towards each other as if something romantic was going on between them. The song ends with Bob and Nikki saying, "Wait, if I'm here and you're there," repeatedly. I believe this represents the completion of MK Ultra, and the personality or consciousness of the victims were now in the sunken place, and the MK Ultra personality has taken over completely. If I'm here and you're there. If I'm here and you're there. If I'm here and you're there. And to no surprise, you see the same reoccurring theme for many artists like this video, Martians vs. Goblins by rapper The Game and Tyler, the Creator, or this video Crazy by Lil Wayne, or this video Am I a Psycho by Tech9, and yes, even this video Wide Awake by Katy Perry. Because we are short on time, we don't have time to break down each individual video, but I suggest watching them and noticing how all these artists are more and more telling you the same thing. They all want to get out. What we do want to show you should shock you though. It's a song by Lauryn Hill, and it is probably the most important song of all these. In the song, Lauryn has lyrics that are amazing and scary to think about. She says things like, "I get out, I'll get out of all your boxes." The boxes that she speaks of is referring to the TV, cell phones, computer screens, and everything else made in the shape of a box or cube. She continues by saying things like, "Blinded me through mind control, stealing my internal soul, appealing through material to keep me as your slave. You be smart to save your soul, oh, and escape this mind control. You spent your life in sacrifice to a system for the dead. Oh, are you sure? Where is the passion in your living? Are you sure it's God that you are serving? Obligated to a system, getting less than you're deserving. Who made up these schools, I say? Who made up these rules, I say? Animal conditioning, oh, just to keep me as your slave. But I get out, oh, I'll get out of all your boxes. I'll get out, oh, you can't hold me in these chains. I get out, oh, I want out of social bondage. Knowing my condition, oh, is the reason I must change. If this doesn't remind you of a horror story like the movie Get Out, then nothing will. Maybe this is all just one big conspiracy theory. But is it? You decide. What happens when the other personality of these people take over? To me, it seems like the original host of the body falls into the sunken place. The sunken place is a realm deep in the mind where a person's body is paralyzed and crushed by the weight of psychological trauma. When the consciousness of another person or personality takes over, the original person finds themselves in a sort of a sunken place where they can only remember and observe so much because they are no longer in control. It would seem that only one personality can dominate at a time. So what happens to the other person inside? We at Up TV believe that they enter the sunken place.
That's like a new movie and stuff.
Baby, that movie is... I watched it fucking 4 months ago on DVD.
Where have I been?
Over here? You've been on tour.
I'm confused because I feel like I've been missing out.
Missing out on what?
On life.
I really don't think that that's the truth.
You think this is what I have to talk about.
Okay.
I feel like I've been missing out on life.
Like what part of life?
Life, like things and things going on. Like I feel like I'm behind or something. I know that sounds so weird, but
No,
I
it
do.
doesn't. It's all the partying.
Huh?
It's all the partying.
What are you talking about, all the partying?
That's why you feel that way.
Perhaps all of this is just speculation, or perhaps the movie Get Out is more real than we know. What we can tell you though is that there is more proof and evidence that the movie Get Out is real. Next week on Mysteries of the Universe, we will be taking a deeper look into the truth behind aliens and other worlds. So don't forget to like and subscribe to both of our channels, Up TV and Up TV 2. So do you think the movie Get Out is real? We will leave it up to you to decide. Let us know what you think in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching Up TV. If you like this video and would love to see more, check out these great videos here, and don't forget to subscribe to Up TV and Up TV 2 for even more great videos.